Ginger Children about a story about a man who lived in Africa. This man was named Okonokwo, and he was considered one of the most powerful men in his village. He proved his power by winning against all other men at a very young age in wrestling. This chapter of the story is about another young man by the name of Madoka. He was in the village's annual wrestling tournament and proved his own power with his own wrestling strengths and abilities.
He wrestled so well.
Yep, he knocked all the other players out really quickly.
Like a bullet!
Yep, like a bullet.
Anyway, for the tournament, everyone was playing drums, and many of the sons were setting up stools for the elders to sit upon. And when the tournament was over, and Madoka had won, everyone carried him off in excitement. The drummers had calmed down to stop playing. The older men were about to begin wrestling. Their names were Okafo and Ikezu. Okafo and Ikezu fought for a long time, their match growing long. But eventually, Okafo was deemed stronger and knocked Ikezu to the ground. The people cheered once more and carried Okafo off.
And in the audience, when the drummers had stopped playing after Madoka had won, Ikwifi was sitting next to her, was the person who prophesied when the spirit of Agabala was upon her with Chilo.
I did not know it was you.
I do not blame you. I have never seen such a large crowd of people. It is true that Okonowo nearly killed you with his gun?
It is true indeed, my dear friend. I cannot yet find a mouth with which to tell the story.
Your chi is very much awake, my friend. And how, my daughter, is Nzima?
She has been very well for some time. Perhaps she has come to stay.
I think she has. How old is she?
She's about 10 years.
I think she will stay. They usually stay if they do not die before age 6.
I pray that she will stay.
In the next chapter of the story, we must introduce Okonokwo's sons. His actual son is Nui, son of his first wife. His second son is not his actual son, but a boy who was abducted from another village and forcefully given to him by the elders. His name was Ikue Fuma. He had been living with Okonokwo's family for about 3 years, and he was a major influence on Nuoi's development as a young man.
Okonokwo had taken to inviting his 2 sons into his obi, or hut, to tell them stories of violence and bloodshed. It was really gross. So gross, in fact, that Nuoi found himself remembering his mother's old stories of the earth and the sun. Stories that he had really enjoyed listening to as a child, but that he knew was unacceptable, so he didn't say anything about it.
Then the locusts came.
People from all over the village collected them and roasted them to eat. But then, the oldest elder, Agbufi Ezidu, came to visit Onoko with some very depressing news about Ikemefuna. That boy calls your father! Do not bear a hand in his death. Yes, Umofia has decided to kill him. The Oracle of the Hills and the Kings has pronounced it. They will take him outside Umofia, as the custom, and kill him now. But I want you to have nothing to do with it. He called you his father.
But sadly, Okonokwo didn't listen. A group of other men from the village, Okonokwo and Ikemefuma, went outside of the village. Ikemefuma didn't realize he had been taken out of the village to be killed. He thought he was being taken home.
And from behind Ikemefuna, a man whispered in his ear, "Psst.
Keep going, we still have a long way to go." The man from behind Ikemefuma cleared his throat. Ikemefuma looked back, but the man told him to keep walking and not look back. Soon after that, the same man had whispered and cleared his throat, pulled out his machete, and killed Ikemefuma.
My father, they have killed me! Instead of helping Ikemefuna, or even just standing there to ignore or watch, Okonokwo went against the Oracle's will and killed Ikemefuna. He didn't want to be thought of as weak. And that night, when Okonokwo entered his hut, Nuoi knew something was wrong. he knew that Ikemefuna had been killed.
Nuoe cried. Something inside of him gave in.
Did you like that, Ginger children?